You know that one habit you have that someone called weird? Well, what if that exact same habit was actually a sign of a powerful, high IQ mind just doing its thing? Today, we're going to decode what psychology has to say about the so called weird habits of highly intelligent women. And trust me, the answers might just blow your mind. I mean, do you ever just feel like you're operating on a completely different frequency from almost everyone else? If you're nodding your head right now, you are not alone. And it turns out there's a really powerful reason for that feeling. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? These habits aren't just random quirks. Nope. They're the external clues to a powerful internal world. And once you get what's going on behind the scenes, everything starts to make perfect sense. Okay, so our whole mission here is to flip the script. We're going to totally reframe these habits, taking them out of the odd category and putting them where they belong, as hallmarks of a deeply analytical and incredibly creative mind. All right, first up, let's look under the hood at the internal mechanics. How does a highly intelligent brain actually process information? The habits we're about to talk about are all about that inner world, the cognitive engine that powers everything else. So here's a classic, talking to yourself. And no, it is absolutely not a sign of going crazy. It's actually a super effective cognitive tool. See, when you talk through a problem out loud, you're firing up different parts of your brain, clarifying your thoughts, and basically organizing data in real time. It's problem solving, live and unfiltered. And what about overthinking these simplest things? You know the drill. Someone asks what you want for dinner, and bam, your brain is analyzing nutritional value, cook time, and the potential for leftovers. It's so easy to see this as a flaw, but it's not a bug in your system. It's a core feature. And this whole process is anything but random. It's highly structured. A highly intelligent mind takes in the data, runs these quick mental simulations for every single possible outcome, and then gets to work identifying the most optimal path forward. It's not spiraling anxiety. It's thorough, it's deliberate, and it's incredibly powerful. Ah, this one will feel very familiar to all my fellow night owls. Staying up late isn't about bad time management. It's about finding the perfect environment for your mind to really come alive, right? When the world finally quiets down and all the distractions just fade away, the brain is free to connect ideas, to innovate, and to create without any interruption. So, how does this rich internal world translate to our external interactions? Well, this is where that feeling of being on a different frequency really kicks in, and it's where a lot of those weird perceptions start to form. Have you ever been told you seem kind of aloof or distant in a busy social setting? The reality is often the complete opposite. It's not a lack of interest at all. It's a mind that is just completely saturated with information. Sights, sounds, conversations. That quietness you see on the outside, that's the brain working overtime to process it all. Oh, and this is a huge one. For a mind that craves depth and data, small talk can feel like running a marathon with no finish line. It is just mentally exhausting. But a deep, meaningful conversation, that's like plugging into a supercharger. It's stimulating, it's energizing, it's where the high IQ mind feels right at home. So what's behind that feeling of boredom that can creep into some conversations? It's pretty simple. Your mind is moving faster than the words. It's processing information, predicting where the conversation is going, and connecting ideas so quickly that it's often 3 steps ahead of the discussion. It's not impatience, it's just a faster processing speed. And this is so crucial. Enjoying time alone isn't being antisocial. We can call it productive solitude. It's a fundamental need, a time to recharge the mental batteries, to process thoughts without any external noise, and to let that creativity just flourish. For a brilliant mind, solitude isn't empty. It's absolutely full of potential. Okay, for our final section, we're getting into something that seems like a total contradiction. This is the great paradox of high intelligence, where these incredible cognitive strengths can be paired with what look like really surprising vulnerabilities. This brings us to some feeding complexities, like, for instance, questioning rules. This isn't about being a rebel, it's an analytical drive to understand the why behind the system, and to see if there's a better, more efficient way. And then there's the depth of emotion. A highly intelligent mind often feels things more intensely. This is a sign of high emotional intelligence, a rich inner world that you don't always see on the surface. And this leads us to the biggest paradox of all. With all of this processing power and analytical ability, why is self-doubt so incredibly common? Why does brilliance so often come with a heavy dose of imposter syndrome? This whole paradox is sometimes called the Dunning-Kruger effect, but in reverse. And it's simple, really. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. You become acutely aware of the sheer vastness of your own ignorance. This intellectual humility is a major strength, but boy, it can easily curdle into self-doubt. And that is the absolute core of the paradox. The exact same sharp, analytical mind that can deconstruct a complex problem is just as skilled at turning that powerful lens inward and deconstructing itself. It spots every flaw, every mistake, and it can become a relentless inner critic. So, after all of this, what's the ultimate takeaway? It's all about one final, powerful reframing. It's time to stop seeing these traits as bugs that need to be fixed and start embracing them as your unique, powerful cognitive signature. So let's end on this powerful idea. The habits we've talked about, the self-talk, the overthinking, that need for solitude, they aren't weird. They are the user manual for a high-performance brain. They are, quite simply, signs of intelligence at work. So I'll leave you with this one last thought. Take another look at your own habits, the things you might have once thought were strange. Which one of them, when you truly understand it, is actually your greatest superpower?